channel.
Hello guys, a beautiful morning to you and Baraka de Juma to our Muslim brothers and sisters, and let us welcome you to the channel. Find out which to the channel that keeps you fresh and updated concerning spotlight related stories from fan reaction to pre and post match analysis, and of course in-depth match analysis. And I'm here with my guys Ugochukwu and AY.
Yeah,
I'm
my
your
bro.
host for today's production of Fisher Ola. Yes, 5 days ago we reported that Chelle embarked on an European tour. He's back in Europe to scout for more players to improve his squad, and we have confirming sources of what this touring will look like, as we have a report that is looking to upgrade the current squad he has, particularly some positions that a lot of us have shared worries in. And AY, can you just briefly give us stories concerning this?
Yeah, just a brief summary. He has now listed some key positions in the team that is shopping for ahead of the June international break, where the Super Eagles is going to play as many as 3 friendlies preparatory to the do or die World Cup qualifiers in September. And this position goes thus: he listed out the goalkeeper, a left fullback, a central defender, a box-to-box midfielder, a right winger, as well as a striker.
Yes, I think
Now, overhaul now. A massive overhaul with
if
this
you
now.
want to tell now, I don't agree with me. I'll go Chuku.
My brother.
Let's start from the goalkeeping side. It is clear now that we don't have a world-class goalkeeper.
Times that number, we've said that here. We talked about how Nwabali seemed like a one-season wonder.
Sorry to say.
Yeah.
Are you sorry to say that?
Yeah?
It's sad to say. It's sad to say rather.
Is that sorry to say? You said
That's I correct. It's sad to say. It's sad to admit.
So I think the coach Chelle sticking to try to change the goalkeeper. I think it is a major one. We talked about how backup plan Maduka Okoye is not helping matters. So I think it's never serious. So I think Chelle doing that, there is a need for that, because we considered the goal where they so annoying.
I'm telling you.
You know, so I think, like we talked about how bad the defense was, but again, we knew that a good goalkeeper would have saved that ball.
That's what goalkeepers do. They bail you
For
out
God's
from
sake,
certain conditions.
De Gea at some point saved Manchester United, for God's sake.
He get one golden glove with Maguire in his front.
So for I think Chelle going for a goalkeeper, there is need for that, and we've talked about that times without number. But I want to see what he has for us. But like I said, there is need, and I love what he's doing.
AY, you have always been this good ambassador of Amas Obaseki and Kayode Bankole.
No, it's not about Amas Obaseki. It's about what I saw in training.
Okay.
It's about what I saw in training. One thing I've noticed about coaches and players is when you give players. Now I don't want to speak about goalkeepers right now. When you give players their debut, they try to want to prepare that trust that you have in them.
Yeah.
You understand? Somebody give Stanley Nwabali that chance. And that's why we saw him.
At the AFCON,
So,
yeah.
you understand? I'm thinking if Chelle would be successful, he has to bring out some new players. That's why I said he has to do away with anything core. You have to be hardcore here to get your core points. You have to do away with this core
Pun
players.
intended, guy.
That's the truth now. That's the truth. How on earth would you explain that 2 shots on target for Zimbabwe? One went in, the other one hit the back. And we have a goalkeeper. Always smiling, always only holding on to the ball.
Delaying for
We complain about this thing under Austin Eguavon, and now you are seeing a repetition of this.
Yeah.
So I think people have argued that he does not have a suitable competitor. Fine. But if he has that, and there's another standby goalkeeper that you know that is ready to also give you the run for your money, I think it solves the problem.
Okay.
For me, another part of the whole thing that shocked me was where he talked about left back.
Yes. I was actually going there. I think this buttresses the fact that we didn't see
Bruno
Sopromachi start either of the match against Zimbabwe
or Rwanda,
because it feels that Chelle don't trust him enough. Arguably, I think before those 2 matches we were so confident that Bruno Sopromachi is a key starter.
Would walk into that team, yeah.
I think Chelle shared different sentiments.
Yeah. But the good thing is, he will get sacked if he doesn't deliver. So whatever he feels, we talk about how he watches the training, he sees everything. If he feels the player cannot execute the tasks on board, he will drop that player. But for me, one thing is stop playing Ola, in the rock put at the left back. For God's sake, if you feel you can't trust Sopuru, get someone else to play the right position.
I think that's what he's trying to do now.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's trying to do. Now, one thing I remember now, after the Rwanda match that we saw that same Ola not played the right the training that they had in Uyo, the first training they had in Uyo, the training they had in Uyo, I saw a situation where he now had to play the same team that started the Rwanda game
versus the
other,
opponent.
That's different team, yeah.
another different team. Now he now excluded Oyemachi, then he replaced him with Bright Osai. So Oyemachi was on the other side that started the match, and then they played against themselves. I really don't know how that went out. That made him now to select the same team. So they say, you coach, you don't change the winning side. That made him still go with the same team that started
the game against Rwanda.
So I think all of that he has to. That's why I differ with him. I have watched Oyemachi. I know he's a very good player.
Solid.
Very solid.
I love him.
If you have a problem with Oyemachi, or you are not convinced enough that he's a good player, then you scout for your own left back. But make sure that he's as good as better than what Oyemachi that we have right now. You understand? We don't want to see, because when you are using online now at the left, you are doing us to damage.
Yes.
First, you are depriving us
Of his quality.
attacking quality that will have been getting from that right wing. Then another thing is you are also limiting us at the left side. So you have to balance it. He has to balance it at this point. So if he's sticking to looking for a left back, fine. But make sure he's somebody that is better than what you have on ground. He always has to be an upgrade.
Central defender. I know there's need for that central defender as well.
Even with the likes of John Ogu in the mix and he
has not started any of them now.
Ogu apparently we now found out that he was injured.
Okay.
Yeah, he was
not
injured
fit.
because ever since the international break, he has not for his team.
For
He said he had he developed a muscle injury
in training.
The international break. So maybe that was why we didn't see him in
either of
the fixtures. So I think they said if he developed that in one of the trainings, so I think. But that being said, he still has to look for a central defender. We have complained about the partnership of Bassi and Mekong not working. So you have to look for a center defender that we can get a good partnership with any of them, maybe with Ekong or with Kavin Bassi. Hopefully, when Shemi Ajayi will come back into the mist, or whoever it is, just get somebody that will not sleep when we are leaving. Just get somebody that will not go to bed when we are leaving. That's always been the case. Yes. We are not always deprived of defender. We've seen the likes of Taribo West, we've seen the likes of Joseph. We've seen a lot of defenders that we've had in time past. Only for us to be having all of these things, we are leaving two goals up, and we are not, our minds are not settled.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we'll go in the whole final.
I think he has spotted out the right place,
right positions
where we need, where vacancies has to
be. Then there's another place that actually interests me is the brain box of every starting level. That's box to box midfielder. We can never underestimate the effect of box to box because they are both defenders, they are attackers, and they are controllers of the game, and I think we lack that. The only person, I think the natural midfielder that started both games was Wilfred Ndidi. Except for like when we saw the likes of Adema Lukman, Chukwueze inverting, Moses Simon inverting, but they look lost in that midfield. Probably if he had a box to box, he would have started. But a lot of us can argue that we had Rafael Onyedika on the bench. So what's going on? What's going on, Erika? So is Rafael Onyedika not good enough? You understand? Because that has been my worries, because a lot of Nigerian football fans will look at Rafael Onyedika and will be like, okay, he's the next thing close to Yature, he's a midfield, knows how to dictate the tempo and everything. And for the 2 matches he came on, we actually saw a glimpse of what he could bring. Are we saying he's not convincing Chelle enough in training for Chelle to be pinpointing that position as a place he needs to look for another player?
One player might not be enough.
Yeah. Anything could happen. I
will not complain about Stanley Wabali now. If
he had competition, you would have, So
if there are competitions, you have choices, you have chances to rotate and then to choose which of them.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you still help yourself to also sit up. So I think maybe that's the reason why. And I don't know whether he still wants to play already in another different position. But he just knows how he wants to formulate this. If he's coming out to say he needs a box-to-box midfielder at this point,
probably he's planning for another position for Rafael Onyedika.
Possibly.
Okay, and the last position is a position that he has based his philosophy upon. That is goals. There's no doubt that we have one of the hottest prospects, hottest striker.
Prospects,
sorry, he's still a prospect. He's 26 years old.
At 20, waiting.
He can be more than that. Ronaldo scored more goals after 30 years. So Osimhen can be more than what he's doing. Believe me, I rate him highly. If he still do more than that, so sorry for if the word is somehow. But that's by the way. We have Osimhen in the mixture, and a lot of us fear that if Osimhen is not on the field of play, we don't get goals. You understand? So I think it's rightfully deserving that he looks for another player that feels that okay, he can get goals and have that commanding figure like Victor Osimhen.
I think for the striking, we don't have a problem. That's my opinion, though, because we talked about that several times. We saw Victor Boniface, the number of goals he had. We saw Tolu. No. At club side now, we saw Tolu Arokudare. We saw a lot of Desas and all that. So I think that one is going to be an easy task for him.
Yeah, to shop.
it's just going to be an easy one for him. You get. So I feel like that's the covered angle.
Eva, you have anything to add on that?
Yeah, I think if there's anything to take away from the positive, like I said, like from the last one, I think Tolu Arokodare, it looks like
A fighter.
something close to
Mhm.
Victor Osimhen. Yeah, he misplaced one header, like I feel you like converted, you'll have got it. But I understand the fact that the whole pressure of getting your debut and getting
The
emotional about the
situation,
team,
yeah.
and with time, it's going to blend into the team. That's why I talked about friendly, not putting them on
At the very tense
yeah,
game like that.
like the World Cup qualifiers.
Mm.
So I think when with friendlies, when we can try out all of those players, you will just get it. I think that's the point. Like Uguchukwu said, the striking role is the easiest that he will show
It is sure.
compared to other positions that he's looking for. This one, he does not need to. He would easily get it at this point in time because all of them are doing fine for their club. Belgium, Borussia,
Rangers, wherever you want to go to, yeah.
Goals. Or not you scored of recent.
Oh God, what are they call player? They find Chubakun.
What's your problem with Chubakun?
I leave this man a bit. So, guys, that's it. Chelle is back in Europe touring, and these are the positions he's looking to
feel.
add to the current Super Eagles squad. I've talked about the left back, the centre backs, the box to box, and finally the striking role. Well, feel free to go to the comment section and share opinion concerning this production. That's our time. We see you guys.